Hello and welcome, and today I'm going to show you how to make natural stone coasters that look like this. This one is this stencil right here, and my other two that I'm going to make are using this stencil, so I can make a set of the two different pictures. But you could obviously make all yours the same bird if you wanted to. So this stencil is available in my store online at accentcrafting.com in the shop, and it is $16.99. And the gel ink that I'm using the blue, and this is also available in there, same place. So I buy my stone coasters in a big box from Floor & Decor. I get like 48 of them, but you get them at Home Depot in a pack of 9, so you don't have to buy 48. But they're less than $20 for the big box at Floor & Decor. So as you can see, they come different. Some have more holes than others, but it's not a big deal. This one has a lot of holes in it, and it has the look to it. It has the rustic look, so I don't mind. And some of them even don't have a little bit of corner, but that's okay too. It just adds to the look. So I'm going to make these two, which are pretty close, and then I'll make these two using this stencil. But first we are going to use this bird stencil, and obviously I've used this one. I've cut this out and I've used it, but it still works great. I recommend that you write on the back of your backing what it is, in case you have a bunch of squares and you don't know which one goes back on which. I wrote front ways bird, but that's just my words. So these fit pretty perfectly on this square, and you just stick it down. I don't measure, I just eyeball it. It's pretty close to center there. So this is top and this is bottom. And if it's a little off, it doesn't really matter either. So these are spreaders, and they also come in my store, 50 cents, but I'll send it to you for free if you order gel ink. So I just put a little bit. You don't need very much. And you just want to scrape it because you want it to go through the mesh underneath. Scrape it through. And when you've gotten everything and you have no big lines sticking through, you just pull it off. Make sure I got to the end there. And you get the design. Perfect. And then I'm just going to go onto this one and not even have to wash it. Just place it and stick it down. And wipe off the ink. Here it's scraping, and that's what you want because it needs to go through the mesh screen that's there. Alright. And there's our other one. So now we have two. Now this stencil I'm going to put in water right away and wash it off, and then I can let it dry, and I'll put it back on the back, and I can reuse it several times. I've used some of my stencils 15 times, and they don't look very pretty, but they still work just as well. Okay, So I'm going to put these to the side to dry. And now we'll go to this one. And I'm using the bird's nest stencil that comes, it's right there. And this one I haven't used, so I'm going to write bird's nest on the back. Cut this little corner off that I don't need. Just put this on. Center it. It's good. Now for this one, I'm going to use brown. You can see I'm using the same spreader, I just wiped it off and it works. So I'm going to use brown out here, and then when I come in I'm going to put a little bit of blue in the center. So we've got brown. So I'm going all the way to the eggs, but not over the eggs, in the middle. So you get in the eggs, it's not a big deal. And you can do it all the same color. I'm just experimenting. So you see I got a little bit in the egg, and that's fine. And I want between the eggs anyway. Just want a tiny bit of blue in the corner. Just go over the center of the eggs. Alright. There's that. I'm going to do this one. Okay, now I'll put the brown back on again. This time I have my blue circle, so I can just go around that. And it's always better to put less of this gel ink, because you can always add more, but it's hard to put the extra back and you don't want to waste it. It'll last quite a while. I do quite a few projects, and a tube lasts me quite a while. Alright. So, got that. And my little corner of blue. Like that. Because I still have some, so I just want to go over it. There's my other matching. And so now this stencil will go in the water too. But just so I can show you, you can fill in, see how this dent has a blank spot right in there. So you can just take a thin brush and put some ink on it. And just go in and fill some of it in. You don't want to fill the whole thing in because it's supposed to be lines, but you can just put some color in there so it doesn't look so obvious that it's missed. So that's fine. Okay. So now I'm done with my other two. So now what you do is you let this dry for at least 2 to 4 hours, depending on how much ink. I might let these dry a little bit longer, a couple hours. And then you will put them in a 350-degree oven on a sheet tray with some aluminum foil, and just put them on there, put it in the oven, set the oven for 350, and then put it in there for 30 minutes once it's heated up, and then turn the oven off and let them cool down, and they are good to go. The ink will not spread when you put a drink on it. Also at the end you can put plastic feet on the bottom of it so that they don't hit the concrete. You can either do any kind you want. There's flat, there's raised, there's some that are less raised than this, so you can just find some and you stick them underneath in the corners and you are good to go. Thank you for joining me. Bye.